Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. Let me just make sure, throw one in chat, follow the audio, visual, everything's looking good. If the jawline is looking crisp, if the audio's coming in nice and pure, let me know. Throw it in chat. I got the chat open right here. We got a lot of people coming in the house early today, which I appreciate. Mike Volmer, you're the first in the room. Crimson Caravan Company, Zeus Cash, Alexandra G, my girl, Crimson Caravan Company, King Peasant, Alex Green, my boy. We got so many people in the house already. I saw Crypto JMP was in here as well. By the way, I got to send you a message about some stuff. Did I see Crypto? Yeah, Crypto Kid, Justin Eubanks. We got a special one in the house over here live in studio as well. So shout out to him. He might be sitting there messaging in chat as well. But I just want to say welcome to the show. If this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your only time. My name is Kelly Kellam. Again, welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream, 10 a.m. to about 10:33 to 10:35 a.m. every day. Kind of the lead up into the BitBoy show. That's why sometimes it's 11:30. Sometimes it's 11:35. I try to time it to where it's a very quick and easy transition for people when they want to head over to that show. Now, if you haven't yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We got a great show lineup for you today. There's a lot of stuff sort of, percolating in the charts. Is it telling us anything? Is there any signal? Let me know in the chat. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Is there a certain level, let's say between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, between those and XRP? Let me know between those. Is there a certain level you're waiting on to find a new entry? Is there a certain level that you're waiting on to lose all hope? Let me know what you're feeling in the chat. Hit those emojis. Let's get it going. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Now, before we dive into this, I'm going to be introducing a special guest we have. We met at Bitcoin Miami. Before we get into that, I do want to say, first off, look at this absolutely excellent blank screen we have right here. This is the process of what happens every time I need to reboot a crashed, there we are, a crashed browser. So there we go. We got live footage on air of an error that I made, and I never make errors. You could tell that by my perfect portfolio over my entire trading career. No, the truth is we all make errors, and that's okay. Especially with me moving around so much, having the mobile studio as well as the in-studio. But come over here. Make sure you're following me at Kelly Kellam. This will be a gold check mark soon, me being part of Hit Network. So once this happens, it's going to happen here in the next couple days. We did that. We got the corporate sort of badge because there's so many people that fake all of our profiles between me and BitBoy and Frankie Candles and Nick Demondi and Deezy. I think myself, I have one of the smaller channels of all them. I have probably 35 or so fake imitation accounts out there. And people ask me all the time, hey, did you send me this? Is this a real thing? And this is my only profile, at Kelly Kellam. Make sure you're following the correct one. Additionally, come down here to the BitLab Academy page, which is here at Academy BitLab. Make sure you're following this. Hit that retweet button, hit this like button. By the way, there's still this code is still going to be good for a few more days. It's part of this tweet, but go ahead and share this. You get entered to win. We draw every Friday. Usually every Friday at least once a week. There's all kinds of stuff we're giving away, from $100 in USDT to lifetime memberships to the Academy to lifetime memberships to the Indicators. We've given away so much, and it's just more as a thank you for participating and sharing the good word about BitLab. Now, looking just briefly before we hop into our guest, it looks like right now, between the time I went to the bathroom and started this stream, that we are losing this level. So we're kind of teetering back down. We've broken this level right before it too, right here on Thursday, May 18th, when we had that sort of wick low. Now we have this further wick low that we really want to pay attention to, which is right in the $25,000 range, but $25,000, $850, $859. But we have to remember, if we kind of zoom out on this and look at this on a more broad basis, we're looking here on the daily. We are in this falling channel that is now within this rising wedge. So if this is not the picture of uncertainty, I don't know what is. The markets, if we mute everything, take away all these assumptions we've made about the charts, and just look at the price action, just looking at the price action without seeing a rising wedge and a channel, what do we see? We see a low, higher low, currently still very much higher low. So we are still within the early stages, looking at just the price action of the start of a bull trend. So should we be worried that we're losing this little level that, if we remember, anytime we have a downward price action, we tend to come stair step down, consolidate, or slight relief rally down, consolidate, down. So there's nothing out of context here. Looking at the chart with or without the pattern lines drawn, we can see that we're still well within the context, the healthy retrace currently on the start of a bull trend. So we'll dive in more in this on a little bit. And for any of you that are, I'm just going to bring this up because, you know, it is exciting. The Bitcoin has been flying off the charts. You know what I mean? These are the two purchases I made of Bitcoin, for full transparency. If that gives you any indication as to how, when, and where I actually make my trades. And by the way, that is something I am going to be adding into. That's something I'm going to be adding into the show format here. I'm going to be adding some trading and showing some positions and all these sorts of things here soon. But, you know, there's certain key reasons why, you know, even on something with a small market cap, there are signals within price action alone that give you good key indication as to what it is and why it is you can take positions to set yourself up with higher probabilistic moves that could be profitable. Now, with all this being said, I'm going to take a little brief snapshot here. Cardano looking like it's also working its way down. It's attempting lower. Is this the end of the world? AVAX also working lower. Is this it? No, none of these price actions moving to the downside. We have to remember, this is never the end of the world. It's the beginning of better opportunity. So with that being said, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. How many people we got in the room right now? We got 89 people in the room. A little bit of slow start today, but I'm sure we're going to have these people piling in. 33 likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's run those emojis up the floor there in the chat. And I'm going to throw it over to our guest here, Mr. Dano Crypto. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show. It was such a pleasure meeting you in Bitcoin Miami.
Hey, what is going on, Kelly? Yes, it was a absolute pleasure meeting you. I had such a good energy running into you guys, and overall, just at BTC Miami, it was an amazing time. So, yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super blessed to be here.
Well, first off, you pointed out something before we just went live, which is, I think, one of the rarer cases, and it's probably in the bottom. It's probably in the upper quarter of a percentile. We actually met in person before we met online, which is such a rare instance in this digital ecosystem we're in, whether it's assets or the social media. So I do want to say to you, thank you for coming up and you know, shaking my hand and introducing yourself. And I read, just much like I look at charts and I see certain signals and certain things in price action and indicators. I'm the same way with people. I can read somebody's energy the moment I meet them, the way they look in your eye, the way they shake a hand, the way they kiss your neck. I mean, no, I'm totally joking there.
I didn't kiss him, I swear.
No, just some morning humor. No, it's just, you can read people's energy very quickly when you're in the same space with somebody. And I appreciated it. Before I was even looking into some of the stuff you did, I knew I was going to have you on just because of, I could tell you're a solid person. And then I looked into some of the stuff you're building. You know, you're earlier on in your development. I thought, you know what? This is somebody that I want to bring on and also help grow and build with. So what are your thoughts from, let's do a little brief recap, Bitcoin Miami. What was the two most impactful things that you saw, learned, or happened there?
So mainly I was there as Shilbo Baggins. So I went there purely to shill my project and just my name and my brand. Which I think anyone should do. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're into, I think you need to go where the people are. So that was my whole purpose. That was my mission. And I had some side quests that I wanted to complete, which was getting into the VIP lounge, completed. And just meeting the key influencers. And it's funny, you know, I've been watching you. I've liked your energy online. I love how you just break everything down in not layman's terms. You do get technical and for the pros, but you say it in a way that if someone was watching and they're just getting into the charts, it's doesn't seem like such a steep learning curve.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes it's hard to be the arbiter of judgment of yourself sometimes. So I appreciate that. And I
well,
want to touch on something you just said there, though, and I'm going to throw it back to you. But the fact of how important it is to be your own biggest supporter. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't really believe in yourself and you're not willing to put yourself out there and get behind the thing that you're doing yourself, you called yourself Shilbo Baggins. I thought that's quite funny, but it's so true. You know, if you're not willing to go out there and really believe in what you do and put yourself out there for it, then how are you going to expect other people to support you? And the second thing was, you talked about the word side quest, and as small of a detail as that is, I think that actually highlights something that could absolutely supercharge people's lives, and that is gamify your life. Realize that you don't need to take emotional baggage with you because somebody doesn't agree with what you think or doesn't believe in what you're doing or doesn't. Why the hell should they? If they don't know what it, if you're just showing it to them for the first time, we need to be okay with rejection and realize it's not just rejection. These are just all levels in life. And if we just go out there and gamify lives, not take things so personally, it also makes it easier to be our biggest supporter and continue to grow in those sort of ways. So I just wanted to highlight that. I really appreciated you saying that.
Yeah, it's amazing and to caveat what you said, like there's levels of existence in this life, and if you think of life as a game, there are levels and there's bosses and different objectives that you need to complete while you're going through. So for me, you know, I'm 33 years old. I you know, over the past 6 years, I've had just a massive growth in, you know, my responsibilities, my career, and in all of that, just kind of like a backstory. When I met my wife 6 years ago, as we were dating, before we even became super serious, we started a business together. We started this DIY donut business together, and it was kind of like a test to see if we could work together and if we could complete a task together and if we would not kill each other. And it was such a cool bonding experience to do that. And so that's just kind of like a backstory of just kind of like how I treat things is I just kind of go right in and I test it. So with my crypto journey, I got in January, early 2021. I already knew about crypto. I just was seeing it on Robinhood. I didn't really know about digital wallets. I didn't know about self-custody, anything like that. I just heard my friends talk about like Ripple. They didn't say XRP, they say Ripple, or they talk about Ethereum or Bitcoin. I'm like, I was kind of paying attention, and now, Jesus, I should have been paying attention a lot more now that I think about it, because that was all during the pandemic. Everyone's getting stimulus checks, and you know, if you were to put any of those stimulus checks into something like Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything on Robinhood, you know, chuck a dart at it from that point, because we're in mass fear, uncertainty. We didn't know what was going to happen with the market. And I just think about those times and so in that, I kind of didn't really get fully into it until early 2021. And that was when I started actually watching Ivan's channel, Ivan on
Ivan's
Tech.
Great. Yeah.
He's the OG. He's the man. If anyone's going to get you pumped up, you know, the Bitcoin will be pumped. He will get you pumped up on crypto. So I used to put that on and it would be blasting through my house. And my wife actually enjoyed hearing it in the background, because he'd be like, okay, guys, let's go. We're going to search for altcoins. And
yeah,
so I don't know if you ever tuned in his show as well.
Yeah,
but,
I used to watch it quite often. But you know, let me ask you a question then. Like, being, you know, one of my main focuses on this specific channel, also in the BitLab Academy, is and we've been talking about it a lot here at the office, is it's hard to know what it was like not to know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so in order to teach something to somebody that's just coming in, other people that are, you know, doing streams or lessons or anything, we may be thinking that we're breaking it down to a basic level, but it's hard to remember what it was like before. You know, like, you know, we had somebody come in the showroom or the studio 2 days ago, And I was trying to break it down to basics, and I said something about candles, and he's like, well, what's a candle? And so people do, when they do enter this space, I would say large in part, the majority of people that come into the digital asset ecosystem, there are people that come from the traditional finance world, some people that traded, sure, but the large majority of people that jump in, they've never opened an exchange trading desk or know what a limit order is or know what even how to read price action. So
I had no idea, just sorry to cut you up, but yeah, I had no idea how to work that stuff. So I had to just basically, by my own research and watching YouTube videos, click around and act like I kind of knew what I was doing, and clicking on the indicators. And it's taken me at least till now, and I'm not a chart guy, but watching people like you and analyzing how you guys do the charts and just kind of listening to keywords, that's what's helped me. And it's almost kind of like that fake it till you make it kind of mentality, where it's like, yes, I haven't been trained on charts, but you have to start somewhere,
Well, so let me, that's a great place to, that's a great conversation point right there. So there's different people, and just for anybody watching right now, there's different people at every stage in development in the crypto ecosystem, from people that have millions and millions of dollars in crypto to people that have, ones and twos and threes of dollars, and that there's no reason to compare yourself. I'm never going to get there. Well, they started somewhere also. And on the other side of that as well,
exactly,
there's people that I know that are very successful in investing and trading in crypto that don't know technical analysis at all. They have a longer term strategy. They're identifying just certain parts in the market. They throw it in and they're holding it for a long period of time. So everybody needs to have their own strategy. Yeah. So what would you say if you could go back to, let's say March of 2021 and give yourself a 5-step guide of, okay, you're going to realize you're an idiot in 3 months because this is going to, what would be the 5 things you would tell yourself?
Oh, you guys are going to love this. Don't stare at your profits. Yeah. Take your freaking profits. I'll give you a story. Okay. So this is where I know that I'm going to do well in crypto, because you have to learn from your mistakes. I started, like I said, I started in January 2021. If you guys can guess, what was probably the top 3 platforms that people were using and signing up on exchanges, like big exchanges? I'd say Voyager, Crypto.com, and what's the third one?
Coinbase?
Right, yeah, Coinbase. So I personally, when I looked at Coinbase, I was like, really? Everyone's using Coinbase? I'm like, this is the worst user interface in the world, unless you're using a pro where you can actually dive into your profit loss margins and all that stuff, and it gives you a better readout. But for new people like me, Voyager I was like, oh, this is so easy to understand and use. They had all the coins. They had actually a lot of altcoins. They had a more list of coins than actually other platforms did. So that got me in. I started, and also the yields were like almost too good to be true. They were offering 9% on USDC if you were to just stake it on the platform. So all of their percentage staking were all off the charts. Like they were some were over 12%. And if you were a referral program, you get $25 in BTC, not USD. I was like, I'm sold. So I started DCAing on Voyager, and I amassed over 1,000 Cardano by just DCAing. And I started DCAing, I think, when Cardano was like, it was like 20 cents or something like that. And so I did dollar cost average from 20 cents all the way up to $1. I remember making tweets like going, oh, I can't wait till, ADA hits 90 cents. And it's so funny that it's right now sitting at 43 cents probably right now. So that's just to put things in perspective, that Cardano will go back up, guys. Yeah. I won't say ADA gang. They don't like to be called ADA gang. So the ADA militia, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, just to continue, I think that, yeah, if I were to tell myself, take the profits, because I was up, I think, over 300%. And I was so new to the market, thinking like, oh, it's just going to keep going up. I could have rinsed and repeated. And I actually had pictures drawn where I was like, oh, I'll take my profit from Cardano and put it in Polkadot. And what do you know? Polkadot literally, I think a month later, went and saw its all-time high and went to $15 from from like $4. So it's just, yeah, obviously hindsight's 2020, but I think my main point is that if you're still DCAing, it doesn't matter what the price is. You're in it for the long term, you're in it for the macro. But if your plan is to still allocate more and you're trying to trade up your portfolio, then you can't just stare at the profits. You have to take some, because there is going to be another opportunity where in crypto, when one thing pumps, there's usually a couple things behind it that are going to come up behind it. Like, for instance, it's so funny if you say on the opposite, actually, when Bitcoin is dropping, you'll see Litecoin go up a little bit. And then once Bitcoin pumps back up, Litecoin kind of follows and then dips back down. You know, it's like there's these cryptos that kind of tail with each other. XRP is one of them, and XRP and Cardano sit at each other. That it's almost like when XRP goes up, ADA follows it. So yeah.
Well, yeah, to that note as well, I want to say, you know, I've told this story before. I felt like, and I can't be mad at myself. You can't be mad at decisions you made that ended in profit. One. But you can always look back and think, how could I do it better? The story I have here is I sold about 800,000 Cardano, 800,000 Cardano at when it got to about 5 or 6 cents. And it was, I felt like it was such a good trade. I mean,
so that was like, to what year was that? What year was that? That's 2018?
This was 17, 18, somewhere in that time. It was a long time ago.
Okay,
but the lesson here is I did the right thing. I took profits. But what I didn't do correctly is, and we talk about it some on here on the show, and we talk about it a lot in BitLab Academy, but it's having the ability to, you don't need to throw everything in a trade, and when you take stuff out, take everything out. You can take out, of course, always take out if you're getting into profits. You want to get to the point at some point in your investment journey with any asset that your original investment is out entirely and you're playing with house money. So that's the first step. The second step is getting to the point where you're pulling enough profits out to where you've, you know, maybe doubled the house money, and you're leaving. Wendy O calls it your moon bags. You leave, you're like, had I just left,
good Wendy O,
let's say I just left out of the 800,000 only 100,000. That's a little over 10%. It's about what, 13% or something like that. And had I done that, I would have taken that up to, you know, somewhere between the $1.50 and $3 range, and taking some profits, laddering them out along the way, taking things out in bits and chunks. And same thing when if you're out at the near a top and you got that good exit, then when price does fall, you don't need to say, this is a bottom. Here's, you know, my $10,000 or $1,000 or $500 or 100,000. It doesn't. Everybody has a different bag they're working with. Look at percentages. When you're starting to redeploy it in the market, think, okay, I'm going to deploy 15 or 20% here. I'm going to do 15 or 20% here. I'm going to do the third one here. And if it doesn't reach that lowest third one, that's okay. Wait for price to go back up, have the pullback, then you have the confirmation, then you deploy it at that point. So laddering entries and exits really does allow you to, one, make sure you're staying patient, but two, taking the most risk managed approach to make the most out of your money over time in the markets.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You make a lot of really, really good points, and you can use that strategy for any coin. I would say BTC is probably the one that you don't want to do that with. BTC is your store value, unless you're trading it and you're swing trading it and you're doing leverage trading and you're doing longs on something like a 10x long or whatever. You want to just like DCA into that and just leave it. But yeah, for coins like Cardano, all the altcoins, that's definitely a great strategy to take. And also, I stress a lot that you just have to have a plan. So you can't just go in and kind of willy-nilly just start buying stuff. Like, what's your plan? Are you just focused on altcoins? Are you wanting to trade? Like what is your plan? And I think if you were to ask a lot of crypto investors or people that are getting into crypto, do they have a plan? I don't know if they do. I would say probably half the people do, and some are kind of they're just in it because they're like, I heard about this and I'm going to go and buy it. And
well, it goes back to your point before. people are most people, if you really get down to it, because they want to make money. But then it goes back to that other point that you made. They forget to take profits and they end up in a loss. And it's like even if your plan is so basic that you don't really have a plan, your plan is I want to make money. The only way that plan works is if you also support that plan with I have a profit taking strategy.
Yeah. All right. And I'll tell you my profit taking strategy. So it's switched. So now that I've burned myself enough times that I just know now what to do. So in talking with about Voyager, I had most of my crypto DCA'd in Voyager. So and what's sad is that I had crypto.com and all these different other like Coinbase and most of like the top 5 exchanges set up, and I just chose to use Voyager instead. So my plan now, because you guys know about Voyager, obviously they went bankrupt. They are involved with the Three Arrows Capital debacle. And what's crazy about that with Voyager, it's like they're supposed to be a crypto brokerage that they're custodian our crypto for us, but all they did was do exactly what the fucking what the banks do. They just lend your money out.
Leverage your capital.
Yeah. They just leverage your, big lesson, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you're not able to actually know that they are holding your crypto, it's not yours. You might as well just take that out of the equation that you own it, because I'm probably only going to get about 40% of my crypto back with the proceedings, with them going through their liquidation. So in that, the plan is when I get profits, I am immediately, so if I'm trading on an exchange, I have anything holding an exchange, for instance, say Qcoin. I use this as an example. I put $100 into Qcoin. I traded up the $100 and got it to 1,000. And from those profits, I just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum directly. So I just bought Ethereum on MetaMask so I can cover gas fees to be able to, I did it in the right time to be able to jump into the meme craze and the Twitter trend. And I'd love to go into that after we talk about this, because it's a whole movie going to be written about what's happening now. But so just taking profits whenever I make profits, just send it directly into my wallets.
That's a good strategy. I was talking about that. I talk about it regularly on the show, but I think yesterday I even brought up my strategy when I traded all the way up to about nearly $100,000 spot.
Nice.
And then I told myself, why am I not trading this on leverage so I can be rich in a week? And what I did there was I donated all the money that I had made to somebody else's boat and somebody else's travel plans and somebody else's house, because I basically didn't adjust my risk management accordingly with this leverage strategy. This is many years ago, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And ever since then, when I trade, I worked on my uncle's fishing boat in Hawaii when I first got out of high school, and he had this profit strategy, where on the boat, it was him as a captain, the deckhand, and then the boat. And basically all the money that was made, everybody got 30%. And so I think the same way when I trade now. So what happens is that means the boat got 30% too. So when I trade, I put 30% directly into my long-term hold portfolio that I don't touch. So I'm building my long-term hold portfolio. I leave about 30% in my trading portfolio. So it's growing at about the same percentage as my long-term hodl portfolio. And then depending on what I'm doing in life, I can utilize between 15 and 30% if I need to pay for a trip or something, life chores, something fun, whatever. That way, 30% is house money, aka long-term hold. 30% is continuing to build your trading portfolio, and 30% is disposable if you want to use it. But usually I don't, because especially where we're at in the market right now, I just add that 15 and 15. So it ends up being about 50-50 between my hodl and my trading. And then once we get closer towards the top, a large majority of it kind of changes, and about 70% of that profit goes into my long-term hodl portfolio. And the profits are larger at the top when you're taking them, because for me, I do some small coin smaller coin swing trades, things that I do, but most of my trading, 80% or more, is more on a sort of longer term swing investment strategy where I'm trying to identify good zones near a market bottom that I can then harvest profits. You know, picture 2017, 2018, we crashed down to 3,500 and then went up to 14, back to about 4,000 and then up to 64. So I was buying in those $3,000 to $4,000 ranges, taking profits at 14 and 60. So I'm taking advantage of the longer term plays, while the smaller coins, much smaller amount of capital, but I will swing trade those almost to keep me sharp, and because it is fun.
It is fun. Yeah. So you mentioned swing trading. It's funny. I kind of stayed away from Qcoin. I was like, Qcoin just seemed kind of just scammy for some reason. It was just a lot of flash, and like the user interface was a little dodgy. But then once I actually started to use it, I was like, oh, why haven't I been using Qcoin this whole time? I would have been making more money. Because I was understanding more about the leverage, and also just what you could actually do with a small amount. You know, putting in $100 USDT, they let you borrow, 800 to 900 depending on what you're putting in. They only let you 10x from that, but with a 10x on 100, you can, if you're picking the right coins, you can actually make some moves. Like for instance, like Veracity is one of those that it's for me was a good coin that I actually made gains over 200%, 250% on different points where Bitcoin was kind of doing some choppy motions. And then if it did any fluctuations between 1% to 2%, then these other coins would move in fluctuations of about 4 to 5%. So, that's how I've been watching the market with doing a little bit of the swing trading with coins like, I'll mention like Veracity. There's also Rose. I don't hear anyone ever talking about Rose, Oasis protocol. And that's one that actually saw some really good movement. I think it's like it's with the privacy. I think it has to do with the privacy coins.
So let's kind of dive into that. And I want everybody right now to just know that there's different levels of risk management you take based on how large a market cap a coin is, and also how much attention you need to pay to it. And then separate from that, he also mentioned leverage. I do talk about it on this channel sometimes, but I do, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not going to tell anybody what they need to do with their own strategy, but I will emphasize that anytime you move out of spot trading, you are trading spot, you're already putting your capital at risk. Every X that you put on leverage, you need to sort of multiply that times like 1.2 or 1.3 for what level of risk you need to add, risk management you need to add to your strategy. And if you don't have any sort of hit rate that's even working on spot trading, 100%, I would absolutely recommend that you do not get into leverage trading until you do 100 trades or 500 trades, whether it's on paper trading or spot trading. Even if it's with $5, it doesn't matter. That you can go through the motions and understand stop losses and understand breakouts and confirmations. And then if you do want to scale up, we can do that. So now that I've said that, I'm curious because we don't talk much about meme coins. We don't talk much about smaller cap coins. Let me know what your thoughts are right now with what's happened in the last 3 months with Pepe Coin. Now we have Ben Coin absolutely ripping. Other people enter the space through stuff like they hear about Shiba. Now I don't really like that kind of stuff, but I can say it does bring people to the space. So we do need to talk about it sometimes. What's your thoughts on it? Is it any indication of maybe a potential market cycle top because meme coins are pumping, or do you think it might be the start of a new phase? What's your general consensus?
Oh man. So I think I have a really great perspective on this, because when you think about memes in general, that's what people want. Memes, you got to think what got Facebook, what people to use Facebook more was that people were posting memes and little GIF videos on there. And it's like our whole culture has turned into sound bites, and you connect that with a community. That's how you're going to get mainstream adoption. and that's with anything. So like, so if the trend is your friend, and you guys know that, if you follow the trend, it is your friend. So you go on Twitter, you go on crypto Twitter, that is where all the magic is happening. There's a lot of scams on there. You know, you have to weed out and get to the sauce of, you know, go through the weeds, and you eventually will find the true gems in Twitter. But I think it's interesting that what's been happening is that this is a catalyst for the bull market. So we're always going to see that initial pump, and then there's going to be a retracement. There's going to be doubt, you know, because it's kind of like people got euphoric, and there's going to be tons of, there's always, when something's going up and something's doing good, there's going to be on the opposite side people saying that it's a scam and it's not going to last, and it's going to be, you know, I mean, people said that about the internet, and look, we're on the internet right now. It's the internet and communication, telecommunication technology through the internet is what we use every single day. So I think Pepe, whoever created it for a reason to really kickstart, I think, the bull market. I think that's my personal opinion. I think that there's, just like there's shadow people working in the background for good or bad, I think there's people that are actually creating things to spur interest, and Pepe is one of those things. And then it started more interest. It got, because the market was kind of like boring, and then this made it exciting again. So there's always something that's going to make things exciting. And
so in a way, in some sort of metaphorical way or a real way, it almost can be looked at as like, because some people would argue the 4-year cycle with Bitcoin, with the, you know, the halving, the reduction in mining rewards is also programmed in such a way that also drives a boom and bust cycle of Bitcoin. So not absent of that, but in addition to that, I hadn't thought about it this way before. I like that sort of concept. With the meme coins, it's almost like its own inadvertent crypto PR campaign, because it does bring, if there's some huge boom in even an arbitrary meme coin, it does bring interest or eyes to the space that then could that money may be coming out of other digital assets initially, but because of that, it becomes its own natural self-fulfilling sort of crypto PR campaign. But there are going to be people that lose money in that as well. So how do you contend with that?
So so with people losing money, you know, you just have to, I think you have to take accountability for yourself. And I think all of the people that complain and I lost money on this, don't listen to them. You listen to yourself and know that, like, look, the things and the choices that you make and the things that you choose to buy, that's on you. You can't blame anyone for any type of loss or any type of position that you put in at a certain time. It just will not work with anything. So I think that what you have to focus on is not the losses. You have to look at the project. You have to look at the price movement. You have to look at the chart. You have to look at the community. You have to look at a lot of different things that are more so than just like, oh, it dropped 30%. 30% is nothing in crypto. That it could drop 30% and then it could go up 1,000% in the next day. All it takes is one tweet, one thing to happen, and that's what we'll talk about with the meme coins and the Mon-Fri summer, as you know what people are calling it, is that all it takes is one interaction, one tweet, one type of thing to connect a project to another thing. So what happened with Bitcoin is that Bitcoin, I caught it right when BitBoy Ben Armstrong was hinting that he found a project called Ben, and that he was like curious about it. There was a Ben DAO, there's a Telegram, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, the moment that I saw that, I looked at Bitcoin, I went on the project, I read the manifesto. The manifesto actually piqued my interest. So, because it was an attention coin, it had a philosophy of, I was tired of getting, you know, seeing friends getting rug pulled. And so I thought, why not? This is going to be a trend. Anything that BitBoy is involved with, whether it be negative, or whether it be something that's negative on him or positive, it gets a lot of news. So I took that as an opportunity to just buy in a little bit. But with that, I followed the entire story, and it's connected with the meme market as a whole. So once you find that project that spurs something like Pepe. So with Pepe, it spurred things like Wojak, and there's a couple other coins that Mong, and a couple other community coins, meme coins that kind of spurred with Pepe craze. So with Ben coming out of that, it spurred just a lot of interest. So following that story, with Ben.eth, and I didn't mention who created the Ben coin. So it was Ben.eth. You start following his profile, and then that's when you can kind of start getting into that world. And it's almost kind of like, once you really tap in, then you can start to follow the moves. You can learn which meme coins can actually get some price movement, or which ones are just trying to catch on to the trend. Like, for instance, all the name coins of the characters, everyone's jumping on making a Simpson coin, a Bart coin, a whatever coin. And that's great. You might make a little bit of money, but I think what you have to do is pick the ones that are actually getting some traction. For instance, like
I mean, as little fundamentals as can be looked at with meme coins. And I will mention, I do truly believe, it's not just because I'm on the Hit Network team. I haven't been told to say this. I do truly believe that Ben coin itself is navigating its way out of the meme coin sort of box, because I'm well aware of what the roadmap is, and truly what they're trying to do is, as you said, prevent people from the ability of being rugged. They're locking up the foundation's coins. Even Ben.eth, he has some allocation that he's able to hold on to, even since Ben bought the project, and he's not allowed to. If he were to try to sell, it would have to be over a 12-month period, and after we hit a certain market cap, and all the money that's made from the project, none of it's going to be sold from the Ben Foundation for profit. All the profit that's going to be made is going into crypto education, crypto awareness, crypto, lobbying. I mean, it's literally for the benefit of the entire crypto community. So I myself, I was like, you know what, I'll drop I'll go above and beyond what I would ever advise anybody to do for any sort of small cap project. And I threw a couple $1,000s in there, just looking at it, not trading it, but I'm like, this is something this is something that I can get behind. And I truly don't believe I will lose money, but I still have risk management in place around it. And it's still very, very, very much less than 1% of my portfolio. So even with the thousands I put in, I'm comfortable, because it's not exposure that even if something catastrophic were to happen, which could happen with any project, I'm still protected.
Can happen with anything. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a good point to make. You just still want to do your risk management, like you said, with you have to take out your initial investment, and also whatever profit you want. So take out initial investment, and then 20%, 30%, 50% if you doubled your money, and then you can secure your moon bag. And so that's exactly what I did. Once I traded into Ben, I rode it up a little bit all the way to the top, but then I sold it. I sold a little half of my supply on, I think, when it hit that halfway point, just so I can secure some of the profit. And so that I would say that's the good strategy to do, because if you're going to get into the memes, it's kind of like pop a weasel almost. So you can end up making that profit, putting it into something, and then that can go straight down. So I would say, and this is not financial advice, but if you take that profit and say you made profit on Pepe, you made profit on Ben, take a little bit out and then put it into something that is long term, that is going to survive, which is Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I'd say even Polygon. Polygon. We haven't mentioned anything about Polygon yet, but that's one of my favorites. I've used the Polygon ecosystem. I think it's one of the best layer 2s.
So,
in the space.
With that being said, let me ask you, and this is a silly question because it's kind of arbitrary, but it helps focus the conversation a little bit in terms of projects. If you had to hold 6 coins, five of them being players in the space, in the top 100, and one of them being much higher risk, and you had to hold this for, let's say, to the near the bull market top sometime in 2025, what would those 6 coins be?
Man, there's so many good ones. It's hard to choose because there's a lot that you could have in there that could do very well, because if you look at the top 100, there's a lot. So I don't know. So right off the top of the head, obviously Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the daddy. Chainlink. Chainlink has the most partnerships out of every single crypto project in existence. They are the backbone and the API and the off-chain data for everything almost. So Chainlink, and it's such a good buy, not financial advice, but it is a good buy right now. Top of the market, it was at over $55.
It's right down. It's been trading in a range. It's right now down in that lower $6 range, right in the bottom bound of that buyable range.
I know DZ right now is buying Chainlink. He's getting his link up right now. Buying his one link, my one link. But yeah, BTC, Chainlink, Polygon. I think there's because there's so many. Yeah, BTC, Chainlink, Polygon, and I think if I were to do a meme play, it would be a hard toss up between Bencoin and Pepe. Pepe, I think, actually will pull a Shiba. It will pull a Shiba. I mean, it got to 1 billion so fast in market cap. So I think in terms of community strength and it actually being the catalyst, it's going to be the face of the meme coin market overall. So I think that's a good one. And then the fifth one, I would say it'd be, let me look at, I have to remember what I'm holding. Look at my bag. Yeah, and Ethereum. Just Ethereum. I think those over the long term are going to do you well. Everyone's always talking about Ethereum going to 10K. I think it's priced in to go to 10K just off of that psychological number. Everyone's always talking about, and then when you're in markets, there's a lot to do with psychology, and it's like psychology, trends, the news, and supply and demand are the things that are going to determine if a project is going to do good or not. So we know that Ethereum has gone through all of those upgrades, the Shanghai upgrade, all the things with the liquid staking. We know that the market did not dump on that news. Everyone just basically restaked all of their ETH because they're not dumb. You know, they're going to not sell their Ethereum at under 2K. They're going to sell it at 10K.
Well, so, the other thing, you know, I was talking with somebody about the ETH lock up and then the unlock. There is this fear that there's going to be a lot of stuff unlocked, but you know, the discussion points I heard, and I felt the same way about from people that were really in the space, is that the majority of people that were really actively staking their ETH, you know, a year and a half ago, these people have been in the space for a while. They also had 32, you know, was it 32 ETH or something? And there was a couple different parameters that identified that it wasn't hype cycle buyers and, you know, capitulation. So it was people that had some understanding of the market. So, you know, and the price has been entering a zone that it'd be silly just to, even if they were to unstake, it'd be more likely that they were unstaking it to move to a different node to stake on, not to pull out to sell. So
yeah, can I share my screen?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, let me share my screen and go to DeFi Llama. I mean, here you go. If you go to DeFi Llama and you look at Ethereum, it's got the most volume, and I think what has the most locked volumes here. Let's see if we go to overview of chains. So, like for instance, Lido DAO is obviously the top one, and then we have MakerDAO, Aave, and Curve Finance, and then Uniswap. So all 5 of those are the most popular in staking. And I'm curious. So with Lido DAO, is this the only liquid staking platform, or can you liquid stake with Aave as well, or is it locked up?
Honestly, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't follow a lot of the staking stuff with Ethereum, but no, Lido also had one of those. I actually used it in one of the examples in BitLab Academy in terms of its own protocol, because during the entire bear market, there was an increase in transaction volume through the entirety of the bear market. Basically, essentially what I'm saying there, everybody, is we have technical analysis we can look at to identify certain key levels.
Yeah.
But smart money, while you could use technical analysis for the final trigger pull, fundamental analysis and seeing the growth of adoption and seeing increased transaction and seeing higher use case and seeing TVL, all these fundamental data points can give you a good indication when price is falling that this is still a good asset. And then from that fundamental data, then you look at your technical data to say, okay, this is a level that I'm waiting for. This is a likely zone that it's going to come down to. And I feel comfortable buying there because I see the fundamental advancements over this period of time.
Yeah, of course. And so, and in using those metrics and the data, so there's a lot of tools in crypto. You could use TradingView, you could use Market Cipher, whatever you want to use. A lot of them are kind of expensive. I don't pay for anything. I think I'm going to eventually. I think it not suggesting for you to not pay for an amazing service like the BitLab Academy, which I will join after this. You could go on things like DeFi Llama, and you can go on things like I'll mention Morales Money. You can go on Dex Tools that gives you look at all of the chains. You can see movements on there, and like DeFi Llama here, for instance, it has like our key like news events that happened, and this isn't. So you could see, like, if it weren't for these black swan events that happened, look at that growth. Look at how much value was going into Lido for staking, and then we had the Luna UST DPEC. So, and that's funny. I was really active in that market, and all during this time, I wasn't making a lot of videos and content, but I was I was very interested in downloading different wallets. I'd downloaded Terra Station, for instance. I was about to go hard in Luna. Everyone was talking about Luna. George Cryptos R Us was talking about Luna. I was like, okay, all right, this looks like it's good. I think they're really getting some traction here. And then, wham, it just went to the ground. I mean, I think I lost like $1,000 or something like that. And that,
yeah, I mean,
and that whole debacle.
I remember Crypto Man ran from Crypto Banter. He lost, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's somewhere in the ballpark of the $100 million range on Luna. And so it just goes to show you, as much as you believe in a project, even if it's just Bitcoin, I think no matter what project you're involved with, I do think diversification is key, and making sure that you keep a very tight awareness about what's going on in the space, especially in such a new space like the digital asset ecosystem is.
Yeah, you make a good point. And saying you keep a finger, I keep saying keep a finger on the dial when it comes to the news, because I was actually getting a lot of warning signs about Voyager and all of these collapses, because it was like there was a lot of fear in the market. There was, it was like dominoes. Things were just going boom, 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 boom. And before I even had a chance to even make a move to get my crypto out of Voyager, they closed the platform. And that's how fast it can happen. And I bet that happened with people with Celsius. They were just like, all of a sudden they woke up and they're like, what? I can't withdraw my funds.
Well, not only that, the people that did withdraw in that last, and that maybe they got out 2 days before the collapse, they're still subject to having clawbacks, which is incredible. I mean, I have my holdings split between some hard wallets, several different cold wallets, and then I have 3 different exchanges that I do have assets on. And people go, well, you talk about having your stuff from private storage, but you know what? I also actively trade. So the small amount of capital that I do have on those exchanges, I'm actively trading, and then I'm taking profits on those as I go into the cold storage. So there is strategy in place to protect yourself while still having exposure.
Of course. And the thing that I was experimenting with in 2021 and 2022 was using the debit cards. So all of the platforms were like, oh, we're going to release a new debit card. And crypto.com, I will say, they have the best card platform, kind of along with Coinbase. Coinbase, they have a similar type of interface when it comes to when you spend something on your Coinbase card, you get say like 1% in Algorand, which I see you have a little pillow there. See,
Yeah.
you got algo on there. Yeah. Yeah, the only coin that Gary Gensler talks about, he's like, "Oh, my friend has algo, blah blah blah." I'm like, has Gary ever even sent a transaction through crypto? Probably not. Gary Gensler.
Yeah, right.
For real. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
This is that pillow he's talking about. I don't know if anybody can see it because
yeah,
I have a smaller screen.
Yeah, you got to get familiar with your crypto your crypto logos, you know.
Yeah. Well, I know we're coming up on a time. We went quite a bit over, which I'm happy. I'm very happy about.
Oh yeah, we could keep going. We could keep going. I could talk about this stuff for hours.
Yeah,
I usually ear beat my wife. So
no, I mean, I definitely want to keep going. We can go another 10 minutes or so. I definitely want to make sure I get to some TA for everybody watching. So everybody that is watching, before we do that, I just want to say, if you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't joined our community yet, I don't know what you're doing. We break down everything from technical analysis to on-chain data analysis. We throw that rope back to beginners. We try to help people. While we will talk abstract and advanced and pro and all this stuff, we do like to also throw it back and break down beginner-friendly content as well. Sometimes when we are breaking down, for instance, strategies and technical analysis, I talk a lot about what's going on with chart formations and understanding momentum and price candles, indicators. We talk about all of it here. So if you haven't joined us yet, we're over here at youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. Come give us a follow. We started back in January. We're already pushing over 7,000, about 7,110 subscribers. Join us here. There's a lot. If you scroll down here to this daily alpha crypto training resources, there's a lot of stuff here that you can dive into. This is meant to be more evergreen. This is a great rundown of how to really utilize TradingView, set up templates, quick keys, how you find that next 100x, indicators, understanding what's going on with the macro on a really broken down level. And then of course, if you haven't yet, make sure you come over to bitlabacademy.com, which is right here. I'll be bringing this up again at the end. This is for the indicators. For the indicators, you go here, BitLab indicators, but you can see enroll right here. This is where you join. Give me 30 for 30% off. And if you haven't yet, make sure you follow in Dano Crypto right here at Dano Crypto 904. And again, if you haven't yet, come over to Academy BitLab, which is the BitLab Academy Twitter page. Hit that follow button, hit the retweet button, hit the like button. You get entered to win. We give away free memberships to the Academy, to the indicators. We give away money. We give away all kind of stuff just for you all helping participate. So coming back to you, Mr. Dano, how about this? We've been talking fairly abstract. You showed some great tools with DeFi. Do you have any charts that you'd like to share, or anything that you'd like to show in that sort of framework? That'd be a nice sort of segue into our TA section once you leave.
Yeah, I just want to first
thank you for coming on. I meant to say.
Of course, yeah. This has been amazing. I told myself I am going full-time crypto. And like you said, you have to believe in yourself. You have to do affirmations for yourself. You have to believe. Don't listen to people around you. When you have a mission and you're trying to complete it, you have to go for it. So that's what I'm doing. And thank you, Kelly, for giving me the opportunity to get closer to my dream. So with that being said, I'll share my screen and I'll talk about Bitcoin just for a second here. If I can get the thing out of the way here. There we go. Okay. All right. So what I've been using as my indicators, my two little key indicators, is the Bollinger Bands, which can kind of let you see where the end of the candles are on the bottom, on the lows, and then also on the highs, which gives you kind of like a little trading channel that you can watch. And then inside that, I have the moving average cross. So I like to use the cross to look at when it crossed, where you can see what happened when it crossed. So when those moving averages cross, did it move up to the upside? Did it go to the downside? So you can see right here, it crossed, and then we saw a movement to the upside. So
And
that's
what is that? What is that moving average? Because I know for anybody that doesn't know, with the Bollinger Bands, you're essentially getting 2 standard deviations from the 20 simple moving average. So you're seeing basically over the last 20 period of whatever time frame, say daily or 1 hour, it doesn't matter, whatever time period you're looking at, the last 20 candles, what's the expected price volatility going to be with that? And you'll see as it's constricting, that means price has probably been trading into a tighter range, and you're actually coming into a zone that likely a breakout will happen. So you see we're starting to pinch right now again.
Yeah, so and what he just said, so example of that is right here. It was pinched in a channel, and it kind of went a little sideways only for just a portion, and then we started to go to the upside. So and this is on the daily. If you look at the hourly, you have a little bit more. You can see squeezed and then movement to the upside. So like I said, again, I'm not a charts guy. I just like to act like I know charts. But still, like if you keep looking and moving things around, you can start to see the trend.
And look at that reduction. What I'm seeing that's really standing out to me on this chart, look at that sharp reduction in volume once we moved up.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, so you see, and another indicator is, oh, what is it? It's the, is it the RSI? That's the one that I've been Sam Price. So I started watching his channel a lot, and on
Crypto
the RSI,
Lifer, we love him.
Yeah, Crypto Lifer. Yeah. So where is the RSI? Relative Strength Index. Yeah, there we go. And so what I've noticed is that when you see the RSI start to spike up, you see it goes down here, and then we're sitting at 40, and then you can see when it actually crossed that 60 range, and you can see that we had a lot of volume, and then started going down, went back up a little bit.
Stop moving your chart for a second. This is what I see initially. The second I look at this chart is look at this sort of trend line that we have right here that broke. And then we have another trend line right here that it's attempting. Once this breaks this sort of zone, it's I don't want to say likely, but there's a strong possibility that we're going to get a sharp move up in price if we don't get rejected at this level again.
Yeah, and I've actually been using these 3 indicators right here as a stack, is what you would call it, is what I've been using for my eyes, because you might use different indicators. All the indicators, it's kind of like, what scientific tool are you going to use to measure the same thing? It's going to give you different perspectives and different results on it. So you can use that the same with the charts. So I've been using that for Pepe and also for Wojak, and also I want to hide this thing. Let me hide this thing. This thing is being terrible. The screen share. So I've been so for PSYOP. So PSYOP is the coin that Ben.eth created right after Bencoin. And if you look at this, what chart have you seen that's looked like this? That's a meme coin.
I don't know. I don't track a lot of meme coins.
So if you look at a meme coin chart, what you usually see is
strong pop,
giant spike. Yeah, strong pop, and then a big down. But what you see here is just like, you see a nice little pop here, and then complete sideways movement. And this was when there was all the uncertainty if it was, if it's going to launch, if it's going to, because the whole thing about what Ben.eth did is he did not what you would call a pre-sale. He did a
PSYOP.
He did a donation base. So if anyone, it's so funny, there's all this controversy about it. And, I was speculating about it too, and was just kind of, had my guard up a little bit, because I was interested in Bencoin, and then I was like, man, he abandoned his project and he's going to start another one. It just didn't look good in my eyes. But now that I've been following the entire thing, his tactic is actually working. So he did not what you would call a pre-sale. He did a donation base where people just sent ETH directly to his wallet. He amassed over $7 million in ETH. And then in that, he snapshotted who sent him the transactions, and then they got the airdrop the tokens. And then all inside that airdrop, the coin was listed, immediately was listed on LBank. Most meme coins that immediately launch, they're usually just on a Uniswap pool, and then you can buy it on Uniswap. But this immediately listed on an exchange. So in that, he's holding 95% of the supply. Most projects, you either will see like 20% or 30%, and there might be a little bit of a sell tax. There's no sell or buy tax, and he's holding 95% of the supply. So I think what he's doing is he's trying this experiment of trust and accountability and letting people give him the opportunity to say, look, I'm holding this supply so it doesn't get manipulated by outside whale sources, because we know in the crypto market, the market is easily manipulated, and you can clearly see it when you go into DEX tools. You can see there's front running bots buying coins left and right. A bot, obviously, if you guys don't know what that's doing, it's literally just a bot program running and trading for you. And it's doing that on all of these coins. What you can do is you can click that off, and then you can see who is buying and selling, for instance, PSYOP. So I think it's an interesting experiment in the tokenomics of how coins are even started, because now I think what we're going to see is people trying that same tactic where they're going to say, I'm not doing a pre-sale, whether it be a type of ICO, because in America, we technically can't do an ICO because people get sued for that, right? That's why Ripple and XRP is in a lawsuit, because the SEC thinks that the way that they launch their coin is a security, not a commodity, which we all know that's BS. So, but we as people who want to be in the space in Web3, we have to protect ourselves. So I think what ETH Ben is doing is protecting himself from liability of the government. Can't sue someone when they're sending you donations. So I'm like, dang, that's a baller move.
While I agree with that, I will say for everybody watching, I will say that I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. The reason I bring that up is because one of the drawbacks, for instance, of Solana early on was how heavily
FTX.
Well, yeah, how much of the available supply was centralized, right? And so to everybody out there that's investing, even if you're going to invest in Pepe, PSYOP, Bitcoin, it doesn't matter what coin you invest in or trade or even speculate on. Let's actually use the word speculate instead. I do think that it's important, especially regardless of if they're meme tokens or not, regardless of if you believe in the project or not. I truly, and this is my strategy. Everybody can disregard me if you don't agree. My strategy is, if something is, less than $100 million market cap, so let's say it's, anywhere under 100 million, the project is so unproven that regardless of how much you believe in it, there's no need to try and catch up to other people that you've seen make money by putting in your life savings or putting in your entire portfolio because you believe PSYOP's going to pop, or you're going to believe Bitcoin's going to pop, or you're going to believe. Use a smart investment strategy and throw in 1%. When 1% is a big number for something that, and I'll tell you right now, if it is a coin that does pop, and very quickly, I'm already fully out on Bitcoin. I'm already fully out of the money that I put in initially to get in the project has already been taken off the table, and the 100% of the amount that I have in there, and it's still thousands of dollars. The only amount I have in there is house money from profits. So as it goes up, I will take profits off, small amounts over time that I can reallocate to my personal fund, my long-term fund, to strengthen other positions. Chainlink is one of the ones. If Ben does another 100% pump in the next day, I'll surely take off 15 or 20% and put it into the other. I'll use that to fund my other investments. But I'm also not going to put myself from hope. And greed is really what it comes down to. I'm not going to put myself in a position to where I'm going to put it here, but it's going to go up higher, so I'm going to leave it. That's when you donate your money to other people. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you make such good points. I love it. This is the real alpha in crypto. People want to talk about, like, when people are FOMOing, they just want to talk about I'm buying in, I'm buying in. And then when it starts going down, they just talk about the FUD and how it's crashing. It's in the middle. It's in the middle where you are going to find that key golden info where you're right in the middle. You just got to be right in the middle. And yeah, you make a lot of good points.
Well, Dano, I really love having you on. We'll definitely have to have you back on. We're gonna have to wrap up this segment because I wanna spend about 15 minutes or so doing a bunch of other TA on some coins and checking in with the community here. Let people know where they can find you. Let them know what you're doing. And again, everybody, if you like Dano, if you like having him on, throw a one in chat. I know we're definitely going to be having him back on because we need to have different looks on the market. It can't just be my look. It needs to be people with different lenses looking at different types of projects with different sort of considerations. It's important to check in with different aspects here. Otherwise we don't learn. We're in a vacuum chamber, and I don't want that for anybody. So let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, in crypto, we are in this together here. We're a nice, thriving community. I think you can do amazing things in this space. I believe crypto can change our lives, and it has changed lives, and we are moving towards the future. Yep. So if you guys have liked anything that I've said, I have a YouTube channel, obviously, and it's called Dano Crypto. I'm trying to get past that YouTube algorithm wall, so go on my page, like all my videos, comment. I have some videos about Bitcoin that are doing great. That video that I did just 2 weeks ago got over 2,000 views. And I go over how to buy meme coins. If you use that strategy on how to buy Bitcoin, you can buy anything you'd like. So thank you, Kelly, for having me on, and God bless everyone. Thanks.
I appreciate you, and you're getting a lot of ones in chat, so we'll definitely be having you back. Everybody, awesome. Give a little chest clap to our boy Dano here. And again, Dano, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for spending your time with us. And again, thank you for reaching out at the conference. I'm glad we can make this happen.
Yeah, I'm glad too, man. And do I have permission to put this on my channel? I'd love to post this on my channel.
You mean the whole video?
Just a segment.
Oh yeah, you can clip some stuff out of it. 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And
right.
and I look forward to having you back and building some stuff with you. And I'll have you on the Crypto Answered Twitter Spaces I do as well sometime in the near future.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks to the chat. Thanks everyone. You guys have been awesome. Hope you have a good Wednesday and go into the week strong. And have a green day.
Awesome, brother. I'll see you later, man. And everybody else. It's always great to talk to people with different, as I said, different lenses on the market. We're going to be diving into some TA now. We're going to, break down kind of what's going on. There is some I don't want to call it speculation. There are some numbers that came out in Great Britain that actually showed that inflation is starting to trickle back up there. Is this going to be a problem here in the U.S. as well? Is this going to incentivize a further rate hike beyond another pause? Beyond our first pause. A lot of people were speculating that there could be a pause coming June 13th, June 14th for the next FOMC meeting. So what's going to happen there? Well, today, I think the focus today can be, I just wanted to mention that today's focus can be actually on the charts. We'll dive in there now. Again, if you haven't yet, come over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here. Hit that follow button, hit that retweet, hit that like button. You're going to be entered to win a bunch of free stuff. And if you haven't yet, go give Dano a follow, which is at Dano Crypto 904. You can see right here. And I know the mods have been throwing that in chat. Now let's go ahead and look at what's going on with the market, because, earlier on, right when we brought up the stream, we saw that Bitcoin was actually breaking below this channel. What did I say 2 days ago? I said, well, this is really looking like, one, that the momentum has rolled over here. Okay. Not only has momentum rolled over there, we have lower highs, consecutive lower highs, and an increase in the momentum there. Why an increase? Because this is the angle of attack between these two lows right here, or these highs and the lower high, I should say. And then this right here, This didn't even get a rally. This was just sideways consolidation. So looking at this as it is, looks like it's starting to form this sort of scenario, which is what I was talking about 2 days ago. And this is exactly what's playing out right now. Let's go ahead and delete that. Sorry about that. This is exactly what's playing out right now. Now, the question right now is this. Is Bitcoin going to have a basically washout liquidity candle as we're currently sitting right now? And why do I say that? Because we're still above this low right here, this wick low. What do I mean by wick? Got to throw it back to the beginners. These are candle bodies, this big fat square. This is the wick of how far price has traveled within the time period. In this case, these are daily candles. So on this day, price opened here, at some point traveled up to here because we see this wick right here, and then came back down, traveled all the way down to here, and then the bulls bought this back up, and the candle, this daily candle, opened here at the top of this body and closed here. This is what happens on bearish candles. On bullish candles, what we get is the candle opens at the bottom and closes at the top of the body right here. Now on this candle, we see the price action on this candlestick on this time period, which we see is 1 day, has traveled all the way up to here and all the way down to here. This is where it opened, this is where it closed. So we get 4 points of data on every candle, every candlestick. In this case, where we're at right now, we still have 8 hours and 42 minutes left on today's candle. As it stands right now, if it were to close right here, this is a pretty bearish candle because one, it's a bearish engulfing candle. This is bullish right here because it's traveled up. This is traveling to the downside. This candle is larger than the predecessor. This is a bullish candle. This is a bearish candle. This is what's known as a bearish engulfing candle, aka the bearish momentum has fully taken over on this time period. Now the question is are the bulls going to defend this, and is this just a washout to the downside only to get bought back up? And so we'll be left with a long wick to the downside, and maybe this candle closes back above this trend line that we have right here. As it stands right now, we're looking at the daily. So what we need to do is let's break this down. Let's get higher resolution. Let's come down to the 4-hour candles. We can see, look at this. It's just riding right on this boom. It's just boom, 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 and then loses a level. Now, why does this happen so quick? This happens so quick because this is a known level. This level, once we've had a few bounces on this, other people in the market can see these charts too. It's not just you. We do not trade. We do not invest. We do not participate in this market in a vacuum. We are not the only people. Nobody's stealing money from you. If you ever lose money, you made a stupid decision. And I'm not calling you out. I'm calling out every single one of us because I've made a lot of stupid decisions in this market. Our goal is to make stupid decisions because we're trying, and then learn from them so we can make fewer and fewer and fewer stupid decisions. So as it stands right here, let me go ahead, break this down. As it stands right here, we can see that this potentially could have been a good buy opportunity because we're coming into a level. We have the relative extreme out. We have a dominant bearish divergences here on the volume. So this would have told me already coming into this level, I wouldn't have necessarily bought this because there's a bearish narrative dominating not only here on the hidden volume, but also as we're seeing, we don't have any blue waves here anymore. We had some back here, but now this is flipping to just gray and then red and then gray and a little touch of red, meaning that this is staying overheated even though we're in a level that if we're thinking about buying, we're not seeing the confluence of signals saying there's bullish pressure building. So that for me, as a trader, would have said, I'm not going to, as much as I want to buy this because my hope wants this to go up, there's a dominance of the bearish narrative here. Even though we're getting a little relative extremity to the downside, this is meaning bullish pressure. This is not a trading signal in and of itself. This is saying you might be looking, as these candles are green, and remember, these candles turn green when you have the relative extrema up. When the candle bodies here on the relative extrema are outside of the healthy aggregate momentum wave that we see here. So it's the second you see this triangle, this means this is the first candle that is actually sticking out of the wave. And if it's to the downside, this means there's not as much bearish pressure that that is involved that should really be seeing price action to the downside. So in a way, you're seeing some underlying bullish pressure. Now, again, I'm saying this is, although this is the case, this is not a direct buy or sell signal. This is suggesting that at some point here, as this is falling, we need to look to our other signals. So let's go ahead and turn on market intelligence. We can see right now we are getting 3 bullish divergences, but I would want to wait for this candle to close, because as we see right here on the 4-hour, this is still very gray with a hint of red, meaning that it's still somewhat in the upper echelons. If we want to pull this up on the MACD RSI, we can see that right in this zone, this is almost getting to the point where it's fully reset on the stochastics. The RSI is starting to break. It's still in the 30s. It hadn't broken down below this. If we look at MACD, this is still expanding to the downside. So although stochastics are looking like they're lower, if you're looking just at stochastics, maybe this is a buy zone. Well, let's look at our other signals. RSI still angled firmly to the downside. So this sort of says this may go sideways for a little while, even when it does cross, because this is still firmly angled to the downside. We see MACD expanding. Why do I know it's expanding? Because if we, hold on. If we look at the MACD, when these are bright red like this, dark red, this means that these are not angling back in, aka we see right here, see this flip from dark to light. This means there's still expansion in place, so we can see this. This is a measurement, this histogram. These bars are a measurement of a visual representation of the distance between these two moving averages, the faster moving average and the shorter moving average. And essentially what the MACD does, remember, it's a moving average convergence divergence. So you're seeing if there's an increase in momentum in either direction. This is an increase in momentum to the upside. This is an increase in momentum. This is starting to contract. AKA the narrative is shifting bearishly. We can tell right here, this is when these lines start getting closer together. This is also representative of these two turning from dark green to light green. Similar here, dark, red, and look at these bars getting bigger, bigger, even bigger. So when we're looking at these, and then also this is the sort of standard free indicators. When we come back over to the BitLab trading stack, you saw before it was 3, now it's only 2. This is why I'd like to wait for a candle closure here. We're getting this is not a concerted, this is not showing that we're in an undervalued zone yet. So what we want to look for on this daily candle, this just as I was looking at this, on the tighter zone, look at this, this is crazy. As I was just looking at this, did we just get the lower low? Did we just wash out that wick? I believe we did. We got a wick where this is a low. Yeah, this is the low right here. This low, this candle right here. What I'm doing is I'm putting my mouse over this candle with the lowest wick, and I'm looking up here at the open, high, low, close. That's what these values mean up here at the top portion of this chart, open, high, low, close. So if you put your mouse over a candle, you can look up there, and the low is 26. No, there's got to be a lower one. There must be a lower one. Is it right here? Yeah, this is it. The low here is 25,818. So that's what we're seeing. So we have not washed that out yet. We're getting close though. I thought we were looking right here. This is the low. Let's do option J. That's the area we're looking at here. If this just washes out, and remember, if a lot of people are looking at these zones right in this area, we're seeing now. Look at this. We've got the mesopic vision has some value areas that we're looking at that are identified with order block anomalies here. So when there's an established value area where people are looking for bounces, there's going to be stop losses right below this. There's going to be people trading with poor risk management, going leverage long. There's going to be a lot of liquidity that's available just below this. If price action breaks down, then there's going to be some forced closures of those longs, which is AKA selling a position. A forced closure of a leverage long is selling back that same value and position. So when we get the price action pushing down, one, you've lost the level. So then the psychology switches for some of the bulls that were holding on, they flip bearish in conjunction with forced closure. So you get a little bit of a liquidity washout to the downside with also a switch in the narrative to the bulls being bearish and now taking short. So you're getting a little bit of both there. The question is here, is this going to be something that is a meaningful move that has follow through in it, where this actually breaks below this previous low of this range? This is what we're looking at here. If we come down all the way to this, all the way, got the hiccup, sorry. All the way to this level here, 25.8, 818, 25.815, and 25.820, this region, and we bounce at this level. The question here, it doesn't mean if we bounce here, this is going to go to the moon. We have to remember, if we take option F from the top to the bottom, if we break all the way down and bounce at this level, we still have to contend with price action, not only having a relief up, which you have to remember, as we're looking at this, if we're only looking at this period of time on the chart, we're only looking at this period of time on the chart is a downtrend. So right now, in this time frame, on the 1 hour or on the 4 hour, the trend is a friend until it ends, right? And this is a downtrend. And even if this bounces at this level, this isn't something that we say it bounced, it's going all the way up to 50,000. It could, but we need to practice safe and healthy risk management strategy when we're trading this. Now, the question again, as I said, we're looking on the daily. Is this going to be a candle that's going to be a full body candle with no wick? Or is this going, at some point during the day, is this going to have the bulls eat this liquidity back up and get us back up inside here? If we result in closing below this, this is further confirmation that we are going to be seeing that $25,000 level that so many people are calling about. And, you know, of course, we have this previous low of this local range that we need to really be aware of right here. If we lose this level, and look at all these trend lines that are in this zone right here. There's a clear zone. What do I mean by zone? There's a clear zone right in here, and if I double click on this, I don't want the fib. There we go. If I double click on this, I'm going to make this orange. I'm going to make this a little bit brighter. This zone right here, let me go ahead and delete this, turn off so many things on the chart. There we go. This zone right here, if there is a bullish case to be made, is the price action doesn't get into this and works its way back up, fights through having any sort of rejection on retesting this trend line here when it comes back up, and works its way back up, into this zone and maybe attempting breaking out. That is a lower probability that I'm seeing right now because of the trend that we are in. What we want to do is, this is a potential area stopping point for downside, because we see this down level of support. We see this longer period of level of support that's coming up right here, kind of not juxtaposition, in conjunction with this zone. And we have this previous low in this range right here. So this is a range I'm watching right here, basically 25.6 up to, basically 26,000. This could be a potential point that we find a relief from to trade back up. So for those of you that are day trading, scalp trading, the smaller, trying to trade these little swings, then this is a potential area that if you did take a short, maybe you start taking some profits once we get into this zone and reassess. If we fall right through this, if we knife right through this, then the clear level is this level right here, this blue box that we've been watching for some time, which would be, if we were to come straight through this, we would be losing a couple different levels of support here. So it would be a little more concerning. If this did happen straight from this candle or the next candle, I would want this to come down and on that same daily close, have the wick down here and the close be back in this zone. If we close a candle down below both of these levels of support, we may be seeing a little bit of a trickle down beyond this 25K level into that 23K level that we've identified as well. So that's what I'm seeing right now with Bitcoin. Let's do a really quick turbo TA here, zoom in. Okay, yeah. Cardano looking relatively weak. It's trying to hold this level right here. This looks a little bit like a very 4 hour sort of cup and inverted cup and handle. We already kind of broke this. This is looking weak, very similar to Bitcoin. We are having the relative extreme of trying to show some underlying pressure, meaning there's not a lot of energy. And another way to look at this, there hasn't been a lot of energy needed to push this down because there's not concerted bearish energy to push this down. This is what we're seeing here with the relative extreme. extrema. But we are seeing a dominant narrative of bearish hidden volume with this divergence here, as well as a very neutral sort of zone that's actually tinted. It's not, you know, see how these are like grayish green? This is on the, there's neutral, which is just right in the middle of the road with momentum. Then you have neutral, but it's kind of hinting at, it's still kind of near overheated zones. And that's what we're seeing here with this tinted, it's gray, but it's tinted slightly reddish, slightly orangish. So I do see the eventuality of this probably testing, it already bounced at this level, but likely testing down into this 35.9 down to 35.6 sort of zone for Cardano. That's what I'm seeing with Cardano. Avalanche looking relatively weak. There we go. Avalanche looking relatively weak. We're making new lows on this range. If we kind of zoom out here, turn off, there we go. I'm going to turn off Submersis. Look at this. So we have broken, have we broken below? Let's look here. Option J. Okay, we're testing the lows of this longer term range all the way back from March, my birthday. It's actually, well, near my birthday, around the beginning of March. If we lose this level for Avalanche, it's likely that we'll come back down into this zone here, the $12 range, essentially, $11.96 to $12.50 sort of range. If we lose this level, and we're looking relatively weak here, we also see this momentum here sort of trickling down. You see these huge waves on significant movement, and they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This also points to just a lack of conviction in the market. We can see the relative extremists trying to flash. We are getting bullish divergences, but we are in this downtrend. This is relief pressure. So on any bounce here, unless we break a previous, most previous local high, I would be calling for further downside. XRP looking very similar to all the other ones. If we lose this sort of region, I mean, next level down is 43 cents or 44 cents. And then coming down into the 42.7 range. That's what I'm seeing. I just want to let everybody know, if you haven't yet, come check out BitLab Academy. It's right here, bitlabacademy.com. The indicators we use are right here. If you come to indicators, BitLab indicators, you can use Stack 30 if you just want 30% off just the indicators. We have the Mesopic Vision coming out soon as well. Anybody that has the BitLab trading stack will have a discounted rate for the Mesopic Vision. If not, it's going to be its own standalone price. What else was I going to say? Courses. We will be adding the trading strategies, a bunch of trading strategy stuff in there. And I'm also currently filming some new ones to add to that. So come and check this out. You can sign up for free if you want access to just the very beginner stuff. But all of you that are here, I feel like you're probably beyond just the absolute beginner. You know, what is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? And some of the beginner stuff. But you can kind of get a little bit of a sneak peek demo of what's in the rest of the course, you know, with the beginners course here, because it's a couple selections from each one of these lessons. You know, what is a candle? What is on-chain data? What's a key on-chain data chart that I can utilize? There's quite a bit of stuff in there. But if you're really trying to go deeper, you want access to the premium Discord, come up here, hit enroll now, get involved. If you do that, you'll see it'll bring you to a page. My internet's going slow. Right here, this is where you sign up free. This is where you sign up for all access. You can, if you sign up for all access, click on I want all access, put in give me 30 in the cart area. You'll see it in here. As you start filling this out, there's an ability to add a coupon, apply code. Give me 30 gives you 30% off. But with that, I think that is all I have for you for now. Make sure you come over here, retweet the BitLab Academy, hit that like button, and I love each and every one of you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And anybody that got in and onto Bitcoin early, taking that leap, shout out to you. I know I was flying last night looking at that price action, but I'm doing it smart. I already took out my initial investment, and now I can just let it ride. And I hope all of you can instill some of these strategies to make sure that you can dominate this market. But that's all I got. Big love. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell, and let me know that you like what's going on here. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and be my friend. Adios, muchachos.